So as we sit in our various places on the planet, and yet united beyond time and space in our commitment for good, in our commitment to playing our role in what will bring benefit to ourselves, to our family, to our communities, in whatever way we have committed to participate or are called to participate. We are grateful for the opportunity. I ask that each of us be placed within the triple cocoon and hazmat space, that our homes and our properties and those we love have a similar cocooning, that the energy field that we are in is that of our evolutionary plans that are new and yet totally reflective of our original choice. I invite those who are working with us in other dimensions and regions and realms within this large plan to be here with us, that we can ask for their presence to be as close to us as we need them to be, to slow down things if we need them slowed down. And we are here to work in collaboration, in love, and in understanding. Get a sense of that energy moving through the sun, recalibrated for our use here to weave this energy of unlimited possibilities. Breathing it right down through the roots of our feet into the roots of Mother Gaia that's being held by Mother Gaia, the sisterhood and sisterhoods that are gathered in her breast. Feeling that connection and moving the energy as we move up to look at our world, our life, holding all that is good, designing from that which is all possibilities, standing with Sophia as an authority to say, yes, constriction is eliminated. Yes, good is expanded. So that our hearts then can strengthen and weave together as we meet today and as we do our lives every day. So get a sense of this circle that's holding you. We are here to participate in what is emerging from that. The circle is designed, it is set, anchored, and open for us today. And so it is. Okay, so let's each of us place ourselves in the circle, where you are on the planet, and a quality you'd like to add, and if there are individuals that you would like to place in the circle, how many they are. And we will have that energy of the circle work on those we love as we meet. So Sharon Raji here in Washington, Whidbey Island. It's a beautiful sunny day, and I want to add the quality of enrichment. Passing to Emma.
Hello, everyone. It's Emma in Williamstown, Massachusetts. It is a beautiful end of summer day. I would like to bring the quality of beauty into our circle today, and I would like to bring in 7 people. And I will pass to Susan.
Hello, Susan Treese here in Byron, Illinois, the beautiful Midwest. It's a absolutely stunning day, sun shining, kind of on the cool side, but warm in the sun yet. Bees are everywhere. Squirrels gathering nuts and getting ready to nest. So it's a busy day in the backyard. I'd like to bring unconditional love in, and I would like to bring 3 people in. And I will tag Beta.
Hello, Beta here in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire with Miss Sarah. We would like to bring in joy, and we have 12 people. I'd like to tag Christina.
Thank you, Beta. Christina in Zurich, Switzerland. We've had a beautiful day today as well, quite warm and blue skies, so it's nice. And I want to bring in relaxation and tranquility. And I pass to Alexandra.
I am reporting from the heart of North Carolina, Sanford. We've had the best weekend we have had in months because of the nice, cool weather. I would like to bring in healing and energy and excitement for my husband and I both need some healing, but I would like some excitement because I have my first paid speaking engagement tomorrow since COVID hit. So I call upon healing and excitement. And did Susan go?
She did. I think we've all checked in. And
Okay. I'm just on my phone today, so I would like people to do a favor. When you talk, just tell who you are, because sometimes I have trouble with your accent. And okay.
that's a good idea, since you can't see our faces. So this is Sharon.
Yeah.
And
I would.
Go ahead,
I'd
Alex.
like to bring in 5 people. 5 people. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to bring in 12. So before we start, I'm just going to ask that all of those individuals that we have placed in our circle and hold in our heart. Yeah, also triple cocooned with a hazmat suit. We know that they are on a journey. It's their journey. They have healing guidance teams that know the next step. We place them in the hands of those beings of love and healing and open doors, and ask that they be moved in the way that's highest and best for them to their next highest and good place. And so it is. Okay, so let's take a few minutes. We've been doing the evolutionary blueprint, and there's still some more that are coming. There's still a few more that will be coming in under this, who's involved with the Sacred Ground community, and we're going to be practicing and have practice clients. My suggestion is the next step we might want to do into your own communities, or even those who come in, we might want to begin to say, they do a donation to you, something. And so be thinking about that. We won't talk about it right now, but you've had some experience, you're seeing what it is. I'd like a little bit of feedback, and then realize at some point in time, I want to move to a donation for this part of the tag session work. And that's on the table. Okay, so popcorn around anything, concisely. What are you finding? What's been your feedback, your own experience in relationship to doing the session download from either yourself or client telling you? So open the floor for that.
The people that this is Emma speaking. The people that I've been working with have found it to be a very powerful experience, even during the download. They say that it really helps when I set a very clear container of safety. One woman said that she really can't remember feeling so safe and so peaceful in years. And the other one, because we were doing a Zoom call, I could actually see the energy moving through her. So, you know, it's funny, in terms of healing, I'm, you know, as a Reiki practitioner, that has been my energy method in the past. I had a lot of physical reactions to it. I got very hot doing Reiki work. And here there are, for me, during the sessions, there are no intense physical reactions, which is kind of nice not to have. You know, it's sort of like, instead of a hot river, it's a cool river, maybe. So, yeah, I am, for whatever reason, being me, avoiding doing it more often on myself. And every day I say, okay, today's the day I'm going to do it. And then it's the end of the day and I'm like, I'm too tired, I shut the computer. So that I need to do a little more work on. But on the whole, it's been a very powerful experience. Thank you. I'm complete.
Okay. So I caught up on class 4 and 5 yesterday. So I watched the replays. Thank you everyone for your sharings and the fear. I call it the fear processing exercise that you did. That was really powerful. Especially asking back.
This is Christina, by the way.
Oh, yes. Sorry. And then I printed out the ebook, and today I read it through and I marked it and I rewrote my reality statements. And I have read the blueprint, but I didn't actually. Well, I felt I was doing it while I was reading it. So yeah, on myself. And it's anchoring, it's settling in, and I will redo it. I know I will redo it. Yes. And I do plan to do it with someone else or receive it from someone else, just not yet.
Hi, Beta here. So we've already talked about the detoxing, so I won't repeat that. I've gotten that feedback again. But people have just been saying, similar to what Emma brought in, just feeling really rested. So I tried it with 2 friends outside of the people that came in through the sacred ground, and they just said the next day that they had slept better than they had in a really long time. And I have one friend who's super, she's always getting in a fight with everybody. I don't know why she attracts such drama in her life all the time, but she was like, everything's calmer. So she's not going into this tornado thing with everybody that she's interacting with. She just said, I'm just finding myself just super calm in situations where normally, I mean, she's very explosive. So that was good. Yeah. Oh. Oh, and sorry, similar to Emma though, I've been finding myself doing it more on other people than myself. I don't know why. Like, so I've read the reality statement and I'm reading it out loud, and I've done it for Sarah and Emma. So sometimes I'm reading the reality statement for all three of us, but I'm just finding myself that my energy really goes into, okay, I've done it like once or twice for myself, and now let me do it for others, and I don't know why.
My wonderful tech skills here. For me, working with clients have been, a couple of them have been exhausted after they moved. I mean, you could visibly hear and see them moving that energy out of their fields. I haven't checked back in with them to see how their energy is flowing, but they were exhausted. They both had said that they were going to go take a nap. For me, I was energized as it, you know, flowed through. And these crazy, brilliant colors have been coming through, you know, I mean, like weird names. I had to look one up. I'm like, well, I don't even know how to spell that, you know, and I asked them to spell it because I wasn't even sure, you know, if it even existed in this world. So it certainly did, and found it in Google. So just, you know, those kinds of things, but I'm like energized and pumped when I do them for other people. I've done the brain balance because I need that physical, you know, I can't just listen to it. I've got to integrate it into my wiring system. And I just felt stronger. And I just check in every day. Do I need to do this? You know, do I need to do the blueprint today? Does my system need it? Those kinds of things. So I haven't done it very often, but I've just checked in. So I've just been working with the intelligence of it as to when it needs to flow through. And I'm going to start using it with my kids this week, and do it with, I'm not so sure I need to do it with Penelope. We'll see. But definitely with the kids this week, and see, I'll be up there in a couple of weeks, be able to see that if it shifts and changes their mannerisms. But it's definitely an amazing field to stand back and look at and witness. It is different than Reiki. I have nothing physically comes through me. I don't experience anything that I'm seeing. I'm not taking it on, you know, just more able to stay present and witness what's taking place for the person that I'm doing it for. So, aho.
Susan, what was the color? Would you like to share?
It was cerulean blue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, what? I don't know. I ain't got no clue how to spell it. What is it? I could just see it, and I saw it in a crystalline field. So it was like particle magnetic form. And I'm like, well, is that in the 64 boxes of crayons? So, I mean, you know, radiant blues come through, cerulean blue, you know, just a kaleidoscope of colors as a group came through. So, you know, just really, really working with that present. But the cerulean blue, you know, just blew my doors off. I'm like, oh, really? Where'd that come from? And how do you spell it? They spelled it for me. So yeah, there it was.
You know that one, Christina. The one experience I had this morning was interesting because I was, well, during the night, when I'm waking during the night to do some work, and I do the work, and I use the process of law of reciprocity in order to have I completed this, this is done, turn it over to you, move to that place of neutral, of void. And I could not move. I could not move. The spin was like I like particles that I couldn't disconnect from. And it was like I the closest word I could put to it was worry, stay worried, stay worried. And what I did is I activated the evolutionary blueprint and claimed the activization of the system of using energy. You use energy, and then the composting system, the organic composting system, takes the entropy and either moves it back to controller's home, or turns it into light. And if what they said was happening for me, it was flushing out particles of worry or stress within my system that I hadn't gotten any other way, because they didn't have a place to go in the same way. So now they were being pulled into, and I put on a vacuum in my head to pull the energies into the vacuum, into the organic system, to take it out of the old system where we had to store stuff all over our bodysuits in order to keep moving forward. So that was interesting. I wanted to share that with you. And it took me a while. It took me, I don't know, maybe a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour before I felt that, okay, now that was gone. But it was, and so what I'm left with is taking the different aspects of the program, like the organic system, and maybe explaining it a little bit more thoroughly for those of us who are using it, so we could understand it, and then maybe we can work with the intelligence of that field if need be. I really needed to work with that field, activate it in my behalf, and just have it say, keep suck in the particles, and put them through the new composting system, taking it out of storage. So that's one thing I ran into. I think that how that would work with clients is simply having them be aware of when they feel off, that they sleep, take a bath, and do deep six, tag and transform. I mean, they just keep calling in their team. They won't have to understand to the degree you'll want to understand, but having, if they're tired, like your client was clients were tired, definitely sleeping is a good idea, or Epsom salt, baking soda and salt baths, etc. And those we work with who haven't done a lot of clearing work or even the deeper tag work, they'll be a little bit more impacted. And you can also ask their team if they want to stretch it out, slow it down a little bit, instead of doing it in an hour, doing it in a day, so yes, Em, I see your hand.
Sharon, what about doing it I know that we can do like set guardian circles and do deep six for people who don't necessarily know that we're doing it on their behalf.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable doing this blueprint on people without their permission.
Well, right now we're not really. Unless we're called to, like I've certainly done it on my family.
Okay.
And some of them I'm able to talk to about it, and some of them not. But on a higher level, there's certainly that permission. And so I think that that's part of what's important when you're doing any kind of, I'll say, healing work is to strengthen your presence. And so what do you want to stand as wherever you are being? So do you want to stand in integrity, in respect, into deep anchored wholeness of love or light, or whatever it is you want to stand for, right? So that and then calling those teams of connection who also are aligned to those kind of qualities in behalf of yourself and everyone. And then where are you called to be and how are you called to be is part of your guidance system, isn't it?
Yes. Okay.
So
Because I do have friends who are in a moment of suffering.
mhm, mhm.
But I have a sense that this would put them more off balance.
See, I think what we have to look at, and we're going to go into that today, is when they're in a state of suffering, it may not be the evolutionary blueprint for them. It
Right.
may be the tag basic session. And we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so basically, what of your toolbox are you called to use on their behalf?
Correct. Right.
Okay, thank you.
And even though the whole purpose of this particular 3 months was to learn the tag, a basic tag session. What is that? And I went through what that was like, right? Did you see me do an evolutionary blueprint? We didn't have it. It wasn't even there then. It was like we were 2 weeks in, and then here it was, evolutionary blueprint. And there are all those of us in this community, in your communities, and my communities, who really need it and would be so benefited by it. So we kind of went, that's what we've been working. And it's also given you the experience of being the presence, of working and hearing, activating something that you know what it is, and you activating it, how to support your client afterward, right? So it's definitely using the tag model, but it isn't the tag healing session. It's not a healing session. So I think I think you've been following your guidance exactly right. Yeah.
I'd like to follow up on what Emma said. It's definitely been something that's been on my mind. I'm not going to give the name, but I did it on somebody. I mean, he knew, I told him what I was going to do, but he didn't know what was going to come after. And I did it, and I left for like an hour. I came back and he was in like a cold sweat, and I knew what had happened, but like I didn't want to tell him because he'd be like, what the frick did you do on me? So I just said, rest, it's fine. I checked, he didn't have fever, all was well, and he just passed out. When I saw that, I was like, ooh, I did want to do it for people I wasn't going to tell, but like, yeah. So I just wanted to share, because that did cross my mind. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, what's my responsibility in this also? And how do I ensure that it's done in a safe way? Like, I don't want somebody to have like, they're like vomiting all of a sudden and they don't know why, because they're going through the detox. And I've done it for them because I was also going to do it on my family, but I was literally starting to make a list of people I wanted to do it on. And now I'm like, no, I'm just going to do it for my family for now. Also, because I know the people I'm going to do it on are on their healing journeys. I know they've been working on their stuff. This is an additional thing to a toolbox they already have. But I just wanted to bring that up, Emma, because I was also asking that question this week.
Yeah. Again, what are you a presence of is important, and you want to be a presence of movement. And when I started the tag, I didn't want tag to be the kind of thing that you proved that the session was powerful because you were throwing up. Hello, it can be powerful and deep, but it also has to be gentle in its movement. That's the criteria I put in place for tag. And you can also, how do you want your work to impact others is up to you. You want others to feel lightened, to feel more empowered, to be curious, to learn, or whatever. You want to have an impact on them. And that will determine who you're called to work with. You probably all know or have heard of Barbara Marx Hubbard. And she's an agnostic Jew. She was an agnostic Jew. And she was led to go to a monastery in California and spend a week studying the life of Christ. And so she did. She was just feeling that and went and finished the week and and in tears in her prayer time said, this is the way we should be living. We should be living according to the love and kindness, generosity, and I would like to help people know that, but I don't know how. I don't know how. And the answer that came to her was, you choose, we'll do. And it's kind of like that's what happens here. You, as the physical component, speak your word. And you speak it consciously or unconsciously, you speak your word, you get answered. And if you don't know what to ask, you don't know what to ask, you get answered in that confusion too. And so, it's very important of who you are as a presence, the impact you want the work to have on others, the impact you want the work to have on you. You want to spend 24/7, like worry spin? What do you want? And then connecting to the commitment is then your commitment is then I'm connected to teams who have integrity to who I am saying I am, And I want to put some plugs in through the day, through this class. Christina is hosting a 2-hour class on connecting to your spiritual realm. She has words for it. I'll let her say. Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific time for 2 hours. And she's hosting that through the Mothership Alliance. And you can, and I think I sent it out by Slack. Or you can connect with Christina. I'm going for sure. 9/11, what better place could we be? It's huge to keep dissolving away what is causing all this stuff. That's what we're here to do. So Christina, kudos to you. Now, do you need about a 5-minute break? Should we take a 5-minute break? Okay, so that will be 45. We'll do 45 after the hour and then come back. So see you then. Putting it on pause.